Arsenal 2, Brighton 1. Another dominant performance from Arsenal where they don't finish the chances. Waka. Welcome back to another match reaction. Yes, this is a late one. On Saturday, I was hanging out with some friends, so I couldn't watch the match. Came home late, so I watched the match earlier today, and now I can do a match reaction to what I saw. It's always different watching the match when you already know the final score, but it does help you pay more attention to other stuff because you're not in that tense moment from will we win, or in some cases will they score, because you already kind of know which minute they score in. And when we conceded and the big chances, the fouls, kind of, you already know most of those things, and then you can just analyze it in a different way. So yeah, before we start with the match, of course, it's the starting lineup. Conor Fury was in there, and then the news came that he felt something in the warm up. So the starting lineup changed with MLS coming in and Kapie next to Saliba, of course. We had Rice at right back, which is like the craziest thing that we needed to do. That Timber wasn't there, White injured, of course. So yeah, Declan Rice at right back. And spoiler alert, he did a fantastic job at right back. You know, the Caicedo comparisons won't end because Caicedo has had to slot in at right back a couple of times, and he had great performances. One of them against us when he was at Brighton. So people are going to compare Rice and Caicedo even more now. Maybe even compare their right back matches against each other. But for us, he did a job. We needed Rice to step up there because of the injuries and the rotations and everything. So luckily for us, he did his thing. Midfield, we had Marino, Zubimendi, and Ødegaard. Yeah, with Rice having to drop to the right back, but that wasn't a bad lineup. Maybe we could have gone even more attacking, but we all know that most of the time Arteta isn't going to go too attacking. Maybe if it's a really lower league opponent, but no. Against Brighton at home, he's probably thinking, let's just get this win. City already won. He had Villa playing Chelsea, of course, so we just needed to get those 3 points. The attack was Trossard, Gyökeres, and Saka. Yeah, kind of what we would have expected. And yeah, when it comes to the match, we started off bright. There was a ball from Trossard over the top of the defense. Gyökeres did well when it comes to anticipating and the physical battle against the Brighton player. But his connection when he shot the ball was horrible. It was just a weak side-footed shot into the goalie. Nothing much for the goalie, just an easy one. Unfortunate because the rest of the move was great from Gyökeres. Just that finishing, man. Just put your laces through it, power it home, at least make the keeper work for it. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But we were very dominant in the beginning. We were creating openings, chances. Saka coming inside, shooting to the far post. His shooting boots weren't there this match. His shots were going high and wide, and it wasn't the best when it comes to that. His chance creation this match was good. There were a couple of times where he had the ball on the side, and I felt like Gyökeres should have made the bursting run to the front post. But most of the time, Gyökeres just stays behind the defender, just at the far post. He should mix it up a bit more. Maybe let the defenders guess more what he's going to do, and that would really help. And also the wingers will eventually, when he mixes it up, they will kind of learn his tells from when he's gonna go far or near post. So yeah, he needs to mix that up. Needs to be better there because in the 84th minute, Martinelli had a big chance. He started in the middle, just made the darting run to the front post. He should have scored there, but that was the kind of positions that we want Jokeres in and not just Martinelli. Because Martinelli also can do a lot there, but this time it wasn't it. But yeah, I need to see those kind of runs more from Jokeres. He had a headed chance, but he just kind of just missed the header. The ball just went all crazy, and Zubamendi had the back heel, and that wasn't a goal. But before that, in the 14th minute, Saka gets the ball on the right wing, cuts inside. He sees Martin Ødegaard at the edge of the area, gives him the ball. Ødegaard kind of opens his body up as if he's going to shoot it to the far post, but he sluts it home at the near post, low driven shot. Kind of what he did throughout the years already. He likes to just do that low driven near post shot. It worked 1-0 up. And at that time, normally you're kind of hoping that we are going to kick on from there. We did gameplay wise, but obviously we didn't score too many goals. We had a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities where we maybe didn't do the right pass at the right moment. Like I said, I don't think Saka had his shooting boots on. Gyökeres, his movement wasn't always the best. He was trying, he was being found here and there when he made his runs, but nothing really in front of the goal. It was mostly going wide. He had the one where the ball went over the top from MLS. He runs. The goalie just wipes him out, gets a yellow card for it. But yeah, and then the other one, you had him hit the ball straight at the goalie after being sent through. Also, a great one where he just powered Kadioglu off the ball and then just hit it. But it wasn't a great shot. It was straight at the goalie. Saka had a shot straight at the goalie. Like I said, the Zubamendi thing. We just had so many chances, like we've been having in the last couple of matches, but we just don't finish our chances. Our 2-0 comes from Rice's corner and Ritter just miss hitting the ball when he tries to head it away and it goes into his own goal. Set piece again, own goal again, ole ole. We do it again, but the goal should have been coming from our own players and not just these kind of goals just on a regular basis now. It's unfortunate that this is the way we have to score, but at least when we don't finish our own chances, we still have a way to score our goals. 2-0 up. You're kind of hoping that we can just keep that clean sheet, just go about our day. But unfortunately, they come back to 2-1. It was an attack from their right side, our left side. Guy cuts in, shoots the ball, hits the post. The rebound goes to another Brighton player who puts it into the goal. 2-1 up, and with like 20 minutes to go, you're like, oh man, here we go again. So many late goals conceded, so you're kind of on the edge, hoping that they won't equalize again and we have to go to another late winner or maybe even a draw. Lucky for us, Raya saves this shot in an amazing fashion. I mean, look at this, man. Look at Raya here, man. If it wasn't for him, this would have been ugly. He does his thing, he saves it. We had Gabriel coming back on the pitch after injury. Great to see him back. I mean, at one point we had all three of our Gabriels on the pitch. That was a long time ago too. But yeah, we were dominating, but we just keep forgetting to make that reflect on the score sheet. We fluffed too many of our chances. the final balls aren't always the right ones. Because I also recall when Declan Rice had a marauding run on the right when it was 2-1. He tries to cut it back, but maybe just fits it in front of goal would have been better. The ball gets blocked and nothing really comes from it. And I'm like, Jesus also had a couple of balls fall for him in the 18-yard box, but he took a bit too much time. Also, we know Jesus likes to link up with the other players, and there are two moments where I feel like he should have released the ball earlier and to the running player instead of just holding it and then playing it out wide. Because when he first came on, he had the guy pinned on the right side of the 18-yard box. Someone ran across him into the middle, but he didn't play that ball. He waited, played it outside, and yeah, that's less dangerous. And later on, he had kind of a similar situation where he could have just laid it off earlier and then chose the safe option. I was like, come on, let's just go for the 3-1. But yeah, in the end, we have our 3 points. We had some good performances. I don't feel, and the midfield was the dominant one out of the two teams. So they didn't do too much wrong. Maybe we would have wanted to see even more chance creation from them, but at least they made sure that we had the most possession. We smothered Brighton's midfield. We stopped a lot of their attacks with our press. So we can't really fault them. Ødegaard even scored the goal. So yeah, not too much there. The back line, yeah, the goal was there and the big chance that Raya saved, but most of Brighton's tries were just not coming off because our defense was well positioned. Our midfield was helping them out really well. The attack, again, they were okay, but we really need to start finishing our chances. We need to start creating better chances for each other. And yeah, we just need to see Jokeres try to mix his runs up a bit more. Also, Saka needs to start looking for Jokeres a bit more because a lot of time he just cuts in and shoots. And in some of those situations where he shoots, Jokeres could have been the passing option in the 18-yard box, and maybe he could do a better shot than Saka from outside the 18-yard box. Other than that, yeah, Martinelli should have scored his chance. Trossard was in the creation sense of the attack, he was okay, but he wasn't really at the end of a lot of the chances. So maybe he should have been in a bit more of a shooting position because we know how he can finish shots. And yeah, it's just really important that we had the 3 points. Villa won, Man City won. So we needed to win. Luckily we did. And now we have to face Villa on Tuesday. Gonna be a really difficult one, man, because they came back against Chelsea from the dead, man, because Chelsea was all over them, 1-0 up. Watkins comes on, and the game just kind of changes, man. Chelsea, they just slowed down. Villa started to hit them on the counter. Watkins scores the first one, kind of lucky with the bouncing here and there. The second one was just a good corner. Not great defending from Chelsea, and Watkins just heads it in. So yeah, we're gonna have a really, really big game on Tuesday. We really need to win that just to make sure that we keep Villa and City behind us. Because if we lose to Villa, they will be level with us, and City can go a point ahead of us. So we can't have that, man. Not with the period coming up, with all the cups also and the Champions League and everything. We just need to stay ahead of them, get through this rough period again because we have injuries and we have some difficult matches ahead of us. So we really need to do our best to just keep winning these matches, man. We really, really need it. Hopefully, we can beat Villa and then we can just keep this run going. Villa needs to have their run ended at some point. Let's just beat Villa. Then hopefully against Bournemouth we can rotate a little bit because they aren't in form this season. Maybe we can just rest some people, get Madueke some minutes again, SA on the pitch again, of course, and then get everybody ready to play Liverpool. Then we can rotate again against Portsmouth, and then we have Chelsea coming up. First leg of the Carabao Cup. That's when we have to have a strong team again. Maybe you can rest some people for Nottingham Forest. Not too much, but just a couple of rotations. And then against Inter, maybe just go for the full squad just so we can get that top spot. Man, you can still do your best team, and then with Kairat Almaty, the last Champions League match, you can rotate again. Probably a draw would be enough then to get the top spot. Because if you beat Inter, there's only one match left. You already beat Bayern once, so they can't catch you up again if you draw. So that would be an easy one. Then against Leeds and Chelsea, you have your better team, yeah. Then you have to play Sunderland again. So it's gonna be tough. There's not too much where we can rotate, but we have to try at least. Hopefully get some people back. Maybe we even go into the January transfer market and buy some more players for the squad because we had a great squad at the beginning of the season, but we are really struck with injuries, man. Especially in the defensive line. So many injuries. Also, I feel like Arteta needs to trust Waneri, MLS, Norgard more. Madueke, also, I feel like he needs to be trusted more because after his great game against Bruges, he hasn't been on the pitch too many times. When it's like, okay, he had a great game, and now you're just taking him off and not really having him feature. Eze also not featuring too much. Maybe at some point you have to try him on the left wing again. But yeah, that's up to the manager, man. Let's just see what we do against Phil on Tuesday. This was a late one, but hopefully you still enjoyed it. My view of the match. See you guys on the next one. Peace.